I said that one got my heart racing.
Yeah, you guys are kind of annoying me, I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
Put your hands up!
This video is for entertainment purposes. While we tackle a serious subject, always consult your local jurisdiction's laws before planning a training regimen. For this program, we assume your area has reasonable self-defense laws that respect the sanctity of human life. For people who take responsibility for their own safety, training with firearms is a must. A quick word on holsters. Each person's individual holster or everyday carry may vary according to their own needs and circumstances. The idea is to always have your weapon on you because you never know when you will need it. Kydex is an excellent material for holster making and is highly recommended. The sidecar model seen here, made by T-Rex Arms, is an excellent design that allows for carry of a pistol and a magazine for either an AR or pistol or a tourniquet. What you're about to witness is our very first attempt at performing self-defense drills in virtual reality. Virtual reality has many benefits and will someday be a huge part of the gun community. For now, it's still in its early stages. Our volunteers, except for one, don't have any particular firearm experience and have done an excellent job. It's natural for people in this situation to act a bit silly, but the more serious the volunteers take it, the more training value can be derived. What we do is put one person in the role of the defender. They will not know if the situation they are in will require lethal use of force on their part to protect their lives or that of another. All they're told is that it may be required. Our other volunteers will act as our attackers. They may or may not attack and may or may not require a deadly response from the defender. The point here is to make it as realistic as possible and take the lessons learned for this serious subject. The very next scene will feature Benny in the green armor and black headwear as our defender, told he is working in a convenience store. Our attacker, Velocity, in the t-shirt and hat, will test him.
Ding dong. I've been looking at these cookies for a while next to these waffles, and I really admire them. Put your hands up and give me money right now. Hands up. Hands up. Hey, no, put your hands where I can see you.
Oh!
As you can see, this scenario ended in violence, which is very common when allowing the attackers to decide what to do, and that's only natural. We're going to play it back in slow motion and try to observe. The big takeaway for me here is that Benny tried to draw his weapon while Velocity already had his gun pointed at him. This is a very dangerous situation and should only be done as a last resort. One good thing is that Benny was sort of out of sight when he went to draw the gun, but as you can see, when he cleared the counter, it gave Velocity a lot of time to pull the trigger. Velocity also moved diagonally away and to the side, which gets him off the X once the shooting started. Each person has to decide for themselves what they'll do when facing such a critical scenario. Thinking about and training for these situations in advance gives us perspective and hopefully allows us to take in all details to make an informed decision. I wanted to bring up another aspect, and that is the banter at the beginning. Now, it's very common for volunteers to want to crack a couple jokes, but it also draws Benny's attention and makes his mind solve multiple problems at the same time. This is a very useful tactic, as situational awareness is our most valuable asset and reminds us how prevalent distractions are. Now, if Benny truly thought that his only chance of walking out of there alive was to draw his pistol, that's a decision he's going to have to make and live or die by. The more we practice and train, the more we know our own abilities, and that's half the battle. Virtual reality is as close as you can get in many ways, but still does not have the same consequences of real life. Spatial awareness can also be tricky. When he's got the drop on you, you know, it's really rough. You gotta either wait for them to look away or something, because you figure if you practice, you probably got a 1 second draw to first shot.
Yeah.
So that's 1 second. If he turns his ear to you, no problem. But if he's already sitting there watching you, it's unlikely that you're gonna be able to do anything. For our next scenario, we introduced another unknown, an innocent bystander. Keep in mind how much the dynamic changes when there's another person's life hanging in the balance. This forces a very difficult decision for our defender. The bystander has no relation to the defender.
Hey, do you know where the bathroom is at?
Do I look like I work here?
No, you're right. I
I'll
should
come
probably
and help
ask the
you.
other person, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
come and help
probably
you. You
should.
need bathroom? Where you need bathroom? Where? It's
Yeah,
over
my
there.
stomach's really upset.
So go
And
take a shit
where?
over there.
What was that? I have to
there.
go over there. Put your hands up. Take me to the cash register. Cash register right now. Cash register. I want all your money. Put all your money up right now.
Okay, here again we see Benny try to draw from the drop, and again I don't want to be too harsh on him. In VR, you're definitely tempted to make the riskier play, and he did have his back turned to velocity this time, which is another potential way to hide the pistol draw. However, it was still a very risky maneuver, and as we see here, they both took each other out, which is not an ideal outcome for our defender. At the end of the day, the point is to get home safely. As for our innocent bystander, she didn't really get involved here, which is just fine. She had no previous relationship with Benny, and while we didn't see exactly where she went, she certainly didn't get mixed up in the gunfire that ensued, so she either got out of sight or left through one of those back exits. And this is a perfectly acceptable response. The same way that you can defend your own life, if somebody else's life is in danger, then you can defend them with deadly force. You don't have the obligation to. Our final scenario in the convenience store includes the same players, with Benny as our worker, Velocity as our attacker, and Nessa as our innocent bystander.
Put your hands where I can see them. Give me all the
Oh.
money that you have right now.
I don't know where they keep it. I don't have a key.
Get down on the ground.
My hands are up.
You don't have the key?
I don't have
Give
the
me
key.
something.
Maybe somebody. I don't have the key. I have nothing.
You gotta give me something, man.
All right.
Hurry
here,
up.
Would you like this gun? I won't
Throw
use
it on the table.
Oh, it went through my table because it teleports things to the back.
I'm gonna go over here. What I'm gonna do is I want you to turn around and face the wall. I'm gonna come
No, I
over.
have kids, man. I have kids. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Good shit.
And here we of course see our good person with a gun, and they really did save Benny's life here. I think there's no doubt that they were well within their rights to execute deadly force. The suspect was brandishing a weapon and making threats towards our convenience store worker. These constituted an imminent deadly threat. Special red flags need to go up when they start telling them to turn around or get on their knees, taking someone to another location. These are all very bad signs, and even when a gun has already been pointed, sometimes resorting to our own gun may be the best option. We hope this has been thought-provoking and will stir up more conversation in the space of this amazing technology that has the potential to save countless lives and promote the Second Amendment worldwide. We have more scenarios and more lessons coming, so stay tuned.
Vanessa did an awesome job on that.